You can talk about these guys, right? You could talk about Binger and Lunchbox.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they can sue me.
I don't think they can either. They can sue me.
Oh,
Come at me, Binger. What was your reaction when Binger picked up the gun and pointed it at people in the courtroom?
The defendant comes running in and drops the fire extinguisher on the ground like this. And then raises his left hand to the gun and points. This is what we see in the video. Him putting the fire extinguisher on the ground and then raising the gun.
oh my goodness, that was ridiculous. Like, who does that? Like, that's gun safety 101.
It was the weirdest thing. He's like, it's like,
So I was
stop.
at SHOT Show.
Yeah.
I was at SHOT Show, and I knew all the firing pins before had to be removed from any of the guns going in there. But I looked over, I was doing a meet and greet, and I saw a rifle just pointed in my direction when people like scanning, looking through the scope, checking out a gun. And my heart I was just like, no, point it at the wall or something.
Point at the floor. Like, what are you doing?
Like they're just waving this rifle around, and I'm just like, Jesus. To answer that super chat really quick, because I want to answer that one from, I'm not going to say that name, but you can. Nick.
The bleep hole?
The question is, yeah, Kyle, what were your thoughts when Lunchbox in closing said everyone takes a beating sometimes?
Everybody takes a beating sometimes, right? Sometimes you get in a scuffle and maybe you do get hurt a little bit.
Like that
Yeah.
has
That
ever
piece
taken
of
a
shit has
beating
ever
by
taken a
any-
beating by anything other than a Big Mac.
Yeah. So when he said that everybody takes a beating sometimes, he said kick him in the nuts and that. So I don't know if you remember that. He said you can kick him in the nuts. You can do this. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Punch him in the face, kick him in the testicles, knee him in the face, hit him with your gun. You don't just immediately get to shoot someone.
I'd kind of tune that out of my brain because it's so obviously idiotic. But yeah, he did say
So-
kick him in the nuts.
So here's my thing to that. Yes, everybody takes a beating, but there's proportional force and reasonable force to stop the person. Everybody has the right to defend themselves, even when they're taking a beating.
But you could have just defended yourself by kicking him in the nuts. I think that was obvious message there, Kyle.
You know, that's what they would have hoped. Like I would have. They hoped I would have kicked him in the nuts. But the truth is, if I would have done that, I would have been dead because
Yep.
one, I was on the ground. Two, I didn't have the opportunity to kick anybody in the nuts.
Right. And if you would have kicked, let's say the first incident is Rosenbaum, and if you would have kicked him in the nuts, you would have been swarmed within moments by people. I
Absolutely.
think the report, I think of the gunshot, that's the thing. It's why people sometimes, which you should never do, fire into the air, is because that bang, that sound is so jarring. And the closer you are, the more jarring it is, that it physically stops people. And especially if they can feel that concussion from the report of the gun, when they're really close, it backs crowds off. And so I think without that, Rosenbaum follows you, Zeminski's there, and Zeminski is a horrific monster of a whole different category.
Like 6'5", ridiculous. This dude is huge.
How weird was it when Binger brought up Four Doors More Whores?
I have put exhibit number 7 up on the screen. Do you recognize that?
Yes, that's my old TikTok account.
That was a TikTok account that you had during the summer of 2020, correct?
Yes.
And it says your name on there, Kyle?
Yes.
Your username on TikTok was 4 Doors More Whores?
Yes.
And that's a picture of you there with your AR-15, correct?
Yes.
And underneath that, you have put on your profile the phrase, bruh, B-R-U-H, I'm just trying, T-R-Y-N-A, be famous. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're the one who wrote that.
Yes.
I was like, "Are you serious, dude?" But then it took everything in me to not laugh and lose it because I really wanted to say, what I wanted to say was, why does it matter?
It didn't, but they didn't have anything. They had
There
to
were so many
change
times.
your public perception. There were so many times what?
There were so many times during my cross-examination where I just wanted to say, "Are you serious? Where did you get your law degree? Why are you asking me that? Like, don't you have kids? Don't they play video games? If they don't, that would explain a lot. But oh my goodness,
He doesn't have kids.
I think he has kids.
Binger?
I think he has kids.
I thought Binger was into dudes.
No, he is into dudes, but his wife divorced him because of that reason, I believe. I'm not gonna like make assumptions, but there are a lot of photos going out there.
I mean, Fluffer Boy 2004 or 2002 or whatever was his email address.
Yeah, is that verified? Did we ever figure out that to be legit?
Kyle, here's what I've learned in life. Everything that happened to you, don't take this the wrong way, because what happened to you should not have happened to anybody ever. But the way everything happened was cosmically perfect. Like you had one of the most ironclad self-defense cases that could possibly exist. It happened on video. That it happened at the worst time possible. Like everything had to be perfect. Otherwise, you would have been burned as an effigy on the altar of Black Lives Matter. So everything was cosmically perfect. 100% that's true. You know his email was Flufferboy because if it, like everything else was perfect, that domino fell in line with the rest of them because without it, the world wouldn't make sense. Okay?
Yeah, that's very true.
It's definitely Flufferboy Binger.
You want to know what my favorite part of the entire trial was?
100%, yes.
When I went into the when I was watching, I watched your stream, and then I just like Mr. Grosskreutz admitted to pointing a gun at my head, and I just see your face like going dead silent.
So, Mr. Grosskreutz, I'm gonna show you what has been marked as Exhibit 67. That's a photo of you, yes?
Yes.
Okay. That's Mr. Rittenhouse. Now,
I love that he did this before he answered.
is pointed at Mr. Rittenhouse, correct?
Yes.
Oh, shit. He should have said no. It's pointed off to the side. I was dropping it down.
That's when he fires his gun. Yes?
No.
Sir, look, I don't want to. Does this look like right now your arm is being shot?
That looks like my bicep being vaporized, yes.
Okay. And it's being vaporized as you're pointing your gun directly at him. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so
Wow.
when you
TKO.
fight
Victory.
with your arms up in the air, he never fired, right?
Correct.
Correct.
It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him, with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?
Correct.
Oh, shit. That's it.
That's it.
Directed
That's
verdict. Directed verdict on all the murder charges. Kyle knows.
Yeah.
Directed verdict on the murder charges.
He just exhaled. Kyle just, oh, he looks like he's gonna cry.
How do you not acquit after that?
Look at Binger. Look at Binger.
You
Look
had-
at Big Boy.
Oh,
man.
big boy.
Oh, Big Boy.
Big mention.
No donuts today, buddy.
Yeah, I was like, that's the best moment.
That was good. That was a really good one. At that point, we're like, if Kyle is found guilty after that, then justice is dead. Then there was nothing you could do. But when he's like, yeah, I pointed the gun at him and or whatever. I can't even remember what he said, but it was this perfect moment of, wow, you just got annihilated on cross-examination by the assassin, Corey Sharafazi. When you were acquitted, I had, I think, around 130,000 people watching live on YouTube. And it was a pretty
Wow.
surreal moment for me. But I can't tell you, like, when you because I saw your knees go weak, right? I saw your knees go weak when you got acquitted. And dude, we were all here with you. Pasobic was on here as
Jack,
well.
was it?
Yeah, he was on. It was great. And we were like cheering. It was we knew exactly how you felt.
The defendant will rise, face the jury, and hearken to its verdicts. first count of the information, Joseph Rosenbaum. We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
Holy
Victory!
shit.
Yes!
Oh my God.
Oh man, I was just
You guys, Nate is
Oh,
gonna
what a
Nate is gonna come
reaction.
on here and be like, I told you guys when everybody thought that all
across
was
the board.
lost.
what a reaction.
It started
Oh.
just
Breathe,
about,
man, breathe, kid. Breathe, breathe. breathe.
and I
His
I
whole
told
life,
you it for
his
last
whole life just came
Oh
back to
my
it.
God.
This is 3 weeks. You were a wonderful jury to work with. You were punctual. You were attentive, and the forgotten six over here who had a very difficult job of keeping from discussing the case during the time that they were sequestered as well. All of you, I couldn't have asked for a better jury to work with. All right, the motion of the defendant is granted. Charges against the defendant on all counts are dismissed with prejudice, and he is released from the obligation of his bond.